All right, we got some breaking news on the injury front as we get ready for Bears versus Steelers on Friday. My name is Harrison Graham. Hope everybody's having a good start to their weekend. Bringing you guys a video from my house, whether we're in the studio, whether we're at my house, whether it's an off day or an on day. We're bringing you the latest and greatest Chicago Bears news, rumors, everything else surrounding this football team. If you want to help us get to 141,000 subscribers, that would be awesome. We would greatly appreciate it. Okay, let's start with the Bears. Not playing versus Pittsburgh. Unfortunately, you were down your top three linebackers. We were worried that would be the case, and that is the case, as T.J. Edwards, Tremaine Edmunds, and Noah Sewell have all been ruled out. Edwards still dealing with that hand and hamstring issue. Edmunds dealing with a groin issue that popped up late in the last game. And then Noah Sewell dealing with an elbow injury. I don't really know exactly when that one happened, but they are all out. Brad Biggs wrote about this last night and again this morning, saying, look at some kind of combination of DeMarco Jackson and Ruben Hippolyte, along with a lot of nickel and dime packages. So if you're Dennis Allen, you're going to have to feel this out early. Can DeMarco Jackson and Ruben Hippolyte hold up? If they cannot, if they're really struggling, do you just go heavy with defensive backs and take your chances that way? I would imagine the Steelers are going to try to play ground and pound on you in this game. I think that would be a smart strategy already, given their quarterback situation. We'll get to Aaron Rodgers in a minute, whether it's him or Mason Rudolph. But with the Bears playing relatively inexperienced linebackers, especially Ruben Hippolyte, that's going to be a tough ask. The Bears' defensive line really needs to play well. Hopefully they are able to do that. Also, to add a complication to the mix, both Roschon Johnson and Travis Homer are out. Now, these aren't either of your top two running backs, but that leaves you with only two runners, DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai, and both those guys contribute on special teams. So it's going to be really interesting to see what the Bears do in terms of practice squad elevations, because you can elevate two players for game day. At least one has to be a linebacker. I would guess Carl Jones Jr. We'll see if Jalen Reeves-Maybin is ready to go. That feels a bit quick. You've got Britton Brown at running back, who's only had one game day elevation, so he could be an option as well if you go one each. So we'll see what they do there. If they don't do a running back, I would imagine DJ Moore takes some snaps at the running back position on occasion. So that's going to be something to watch for as well. Okay, questionable versus Pittsburgh. Jaylon Johnson and Kyler Gordon have both been listed as questionable. Both were full participants today. Jaylon Johnson has been a full participant 2 days in a row. Now, Ben Johnson was asked about Jaylon specifically, and he said, I don't know. We will see. Talking about if they are going to activate him for this game. I think he's more likely than Kyler, because this is the first full practice for Kyler, and these Friday practices are not full force practices. They're kind of walkthroughs with some, things going on. So that feels like a stretch for him to play, as he's dealt with multiple soft tissue injuries already this year. But could Jaylon? I mean, he's practiced since last Friday. In the last 2 days, he's been full. We'll see. Part of the equation here, I would think, has to be that the Bears have a quick turnaround. They play on Black Friday against the Eagles. So does that weigh in? If they are activated, or if one of them is activated, are they on a pitch count? So those are all things the Bears have to consider and consult with their medical staff and, so on and so forth. So it feels like Jalen's got a shot. I'm still not that convinced Kyler has a real shot of playing. I'll give him 25%. Jaylon, I'll call 50-50. I think there is a chance Jaylon plays. I'll say this as well. If Jaylon doesn't play in this game, I'm very confident he'll play Black Friday. And it's trending toward Kyler Gordon playing against the Eagles as well. So that is the good news. Okay, I want to talk about a couple other guys who are questionable, and then we'll get to Aaron Rodgers, plus another potential Steelers injury to follow. But first, we do got to tell you guys about our awesome sponsor. That is PrizePicks, daily fantasy made easy at prizepicks.com/CLNS. The hard-hitting football action is even better with PrizePicks. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old. So don't miss out on any of the action. Keep the season rolling on PrizePicks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. It's very easy to play PrizePicks. You pick 2 or more players, regardless of sport, and take more or less on the stat projections available. 2-player lineup I've got for this weekend. I took more on DeAndre Swift's rushing yards, and I took more on DK Metcalf's receiving yards as well. Might take more in a separate lineup on a Jaylon Warren, assuming he's good to go, because Steelers are going to run the football a lot in this game, I would imagine. But, again, up to 6 players, got to pick at least 2 players on 2 or more different teams. Can't just pick 2 Bears players. You have to pick someone from a different team. But you could go a Bears player, a Blackhawks player, and a Bulls player if you want to just go all Chicago sports. You can do that. Take more or less. The more players in your lineup, the larger the payout. Check out the PrizePicks app today. Download it right now. Use our code CLNS to get $50 in the lineups once you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in the lineups once you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it is good to be right. Okay, back in the questionable category. Real quick, Jaquan Brisker technically is questionable, but he's been a full participant the past 2 days. I'm not concerned there. Maybe it's one of those where he's 95%, so technically they can't list him as full, but I fully expect him to be out there unless there's some setback in Sunday's workout before the game. So keep an eye on that, but he should be good to go. One final note before we get to Theo Benedet on Jaylon Johnson and Kyler Gordon. If they do activate one or both of those guys, they will have to make corresponding roster moves. So they will have to place 1 to 2 players on short-term IR. They would have to cut 1 to 2 players. Who could that be? Could it be a guy like John A. Walker? Could it be Jalen Jones? Could it be a Chris Williams? Normally you'd say would it be one of these deeper linebackers, but it's not going to be a linebacker with how beat up you are at that position. So just make note of that. They're going to have to cut somebody or place somebody on IR if they elevate or if they activate one of these guys / both of these guys. Okay, real quick on Theo Benedet. We mentioned this yesterday, and I wanted to mention it again here. He was a full participant Wednesday, no injury designation, and yesterday was listed as limited with a quad injury. Usually that means you got hurt during practice and didn't finish. So I think it's pretty clear he started yesterday's practice full, got banged up, so he was listed as limited. Now, he was listed as limited today, but I've been told this is one to watch. This could be a game-time decision. And if he can't go, remember, Braxton Jones, Karan Amagaji, they are on IR. So presumably it would be the rookie Ozzie Trapillo, who's kind of been serving in this 6th offensive lineman role. He's been playing like 8 to 10 snaps a game. They bring him in jumbo packages, so on and so forth. But remember, he kind of got kicked out of the left tackle competition in training camp because he was falling behind, and Theo Benedet entered it and ended up being the guy. And it's not like Theo's been great. So if Ozzie Trapillo makes his first career start at left tackle against this Steelers defensive front, they're going to have to give him a lot of help, I would imagine. Chip with Cole Kmet, Durham Smythe, Colston Loveland, use the backs. I don't think you're going to want to leave him on an island very often at all, assuming it's Alex Highsmith he's going up against. Now, the good news is T.J. Watt doesn't really line up on that side. Darnell Wright will handle him, and he's a full participant. He's good to go, as is Drew Dahlman, Kevin Byard, Grady Jarrett, DeAndre Swift, and Joe Tooney. Some of those guys just had rest days. That's technically why they're on the injury report. But if Theo can't go, I mean, you're going to have to help Theo, too, in pass pro, but you would think you would especially have to help Ozzie against this defensive front, especially since he just has not played that much. So that left tackle spot is something to watch. Okay, for the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers officially questionable per Mike Tomlin. He was limited in today's practice. Again, he's got that left wrist fracture, and Rodgers said earlier in the week it's a safety issue. It's not a pain tolerance issue. It's can they stabilize the wrist enough with some kind of soft cast to avoid further injury and to make sure he's functional enough, taking under center snaps, handing the football off with his left hand, those type of things. Mike Tomlin said, quote, "We'll see where the weekend leaves us." Now, I imagine he's going to play, and I've said the last couple of days, even if they're on the fence, I would guess he at least starts the game. And if they get through a few drives, a quarter, whatever, and he's just not functional enough, well, then you just put Mason Rudolph in the game, right? Like, you could totally do that. So I think he will suit up. I think he will be out there. This is too big of a game. One more thing to watch for the Steelers, and I've not seen their full injury report drop just yet. Let me make sure it has not. I don't see it yet. So keep an eye on that on social media. Follow me at HGramNFL with big updates. I'll get those out there. A Steelers reporter saw Cam Heyward in a boot after practice today. So did he get banged up? Did something happen yesterday? We'll see when the injury report comes out, but that would be a big loss if the veteran defensive tackle for some reason could not play in this football game. So that is also something to keep an eye on as we get closer and closer to kickoff on Sunday. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of Chicago Bears Now. Appreciate everybody for tuning in to this episode. If you made it to the end, that makes you a real one. Please subscribe to the channel. We will be live on Sunday, 10:45 a.m. Central Time. Myself, producer Cullen Brown, as we are going to rock and roll with you guys for the entire game, including an hour, 15-minute pregame show. Should be a lot of fun. We have several more videos to come between now and then as well, so be sure to check those out. We will see you guys soon. So like I said, like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.